We're going to be recording tonight the War of the Words. The War of Words. What I want to do is start right from page 15 of the 10 life lessons on how to find your why now. It says, from the date of your birth until approximately the age of 7, your default in life is developed. Yes, it's a little confusing at first, so let me explain further. When you purchase a computer, all of you watching tonight live on Ustream, you're obviously watching through a computer. This is very powerful. It comes with certain programs that give it the ability to function when you turn it on. After you boot up, you choose new software that you're into. You choose new software. Excuse the stutter. I was a stutterer. You choose new software, your internet provider, and other technical features in order to make it suitable for you. But unless you successfully, and guys, focus on this. But unless you successfully install and save your new software, your computer will always revert back to those original default settings. Let me ask you guys a question here tonight and all around the world. How many of you are using Windows 98? How many of you had Windows 98? Yes. How many of you would go nowhere in life if you were still using Windows 98? You wouldn't be able to boot up. You wouldn't be able to do anything online. Allow me to continue. This is the foundation for the war of words. That is, unless you make a decision. Make a what? Decision to change those defaults by saving your new programs. Here we go. By the age of 7. How old? 7. Rick, you had hair at 7, right? Excellent. By the age of 7. This is incredible. By the age of 7, your mental computer had all its defaults developed and installed on your hard drive, which is your mind. Think about that. How many times were you told as a young child, stop, don't do that, don't touch that, don't talk to strangers, stay away from them, don't look at that, don't. You are told don't and do not and stop. Focus on this. About 17 million times versus the word yes. So you're told no 17 million times by the age of 7. And then you wonder why when you're an adult, you go out to make a decision. So the foundation is, for tonight, is we're going to destroy the default because there's a war of words going on. Because by the time you reach the age 7, you also develop an accent. Many of you know that I am from Tennessee with a little bit of Alabama in me. Right, Rick? I'm from Tennessee, Alabama. No, I'm from New York. And we have Antonio, who's the world-famous Antonio LaKelly. He's from, where were you from originally? You can sit right here. Don't sit on my keys. Don't sit on my sword.
I don't want to sit on your sword.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm originally from Bedford in England.
Right? Stop right there. Oh, you stopped already. Now, Antonio, but you lived in, where'd you live originally? You were born where?
I was actually born in England.
No, really?
Yeah.
You can't tell, can you? No, I know that. It was a question for all of you to focus, because I even know tonight as you guys are watching this, you're saying, wait a minute, he just said he was from England. But you have to realize he could be living here for the rest of his life in Florida. You will sound exactly like that. Do you know why? Because your accent is created within the first 7 years, your verbal accent. How do you say schedule?
Schedule.
No. How do you say schedule?
Schedule.
Just checking. Now, I say schedule, you say?
Schedule.
But it's the same thing, all right?
Except you've got a funny accent.
He's got a funny accent. See, but the accent's created because when you speak, people hear you what? They hear words, correct? So like when you are over here in the States, and as soon as you open your mouth, half the conversations, they say, where you from?
Absolutely. Yeah,
right?
every time.
Because they hear the accent. Just to prove a point, we have a live person here from the UK with an accent. That's awesome. Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you.
And I use that example, and I'll be using Antonio a little bit more this evening, and a few others of you here live, because you have to realize there's a war going on, because an accent's created, because the February DVD of the month was titled Success Accent, How Do You Sound? Because every word you say is a success accent. See, but there's a war going on, because to go for quote number 4 in 177 Motivational Success Quote Book, it says, words are faith vehicles to take you to your promised land. Words are what? Faith Vehicles. How many of you drove here tonight? Barbara did, Ed did, Lisa did, Rick did, Antonio did, Darlene did, Sandra did, Dan did, my wife Chrissy did, and I. And we all drove in a vehicle. Some of us have space shuttles, right, Lisa? Can't figure out how to use the cars. Words of every word you say is an invisible vehicle to take you somewhere. Now, more importantly, is every word that is said into your ears is a word that takes you somewhere also, which is down. Because every single word is a seed. You guys have to understand that. We are now into a heavy mental cleanse. We're actually recording this live on the third day of the mental cleanse. Monday night, March 23rd, we made a decision for a 30-day total immersion mental cleanse. It's 2,592,000 seconds. Now we're on, this is, what evening is tonight? This is Thursday evening. So we're on day 4 of our cleanse, excuse me, just checking. And every day we subtract 86,400 seconds. And our whole goal is for 2,592,000 seconds, you do not allow one negative word in your ears. It's a little challenging right now with this day and age, with all the technology, all the billboards, all the TVs, and everything is mainly negative. So that's why it's a constant war. That's why you take a look at this hat. This recognizes the 101st Airborne U.S. military. The most highly trained military men and women in the world. They go through one of the most difficult and strenuous and life-altering boot camps. Why? Because when they get out to fight the enemy, they want to be trained to handle it. And that's why when we do all of our events, they're called boot camps. There's never, nobody's ever done anything physically, except Rick, I think, did a little exercise with Antonio that time at one of the LFC events. But all of our boot camps are word boot camps to get you strengthened for that word. Because anytime a word takes a root in you, you start to act based upon that word. So your default by the age 7 is there's 17 million times you're told no. So when you're on the phone to make a decision for your business, you're in direct sales, you're recruiting, you're selling any product, and you go out to make a decision, you got that default sitting there. And you see, every single word is a seed. This is the infamous bag of sugar baby watermelon seeds. And it says on the back, it says contains 50 seeds. It's 50 seeds. Now, if these seeds are never planted in the soil, nothing's going to happen, correct? So these seeds is a vehicle to be planted. If these seeds never leave this package, will the watermelon grow? Now, this guy right down here is pretty fired up because this is one. Can you imagine? This is a sugar baby watermelon. I couldn't hold 5 of these in my hand. Do you understand? Every word you say has the potential to harvest like this, but there's a war. And every time you say a negative word, people go, sticks and stones don't break my what? Bones. But guess what? All of you make decisions today based upon a non-sown seed in your life. What does that mean? You make decisions of words that will be sown in your life negative, and then you start the process.